Hey Jill, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Thank you for being on the podcast. So I'm just going to ask you a bunch of different questions about your journey with handball and how other sports conflicted, how you became more focused in handball. So questions like that.
Sounds
First of
good.
all, um, can you tell us a little bit about how you got involved in handball, like school handball?
School handball. Okay, well, I started playing handball in grade 8. So I love playing sports. I like to get whatever I can get my hands on. So I was like, ooh, handball sounds fun. So I started playing in grade 8 and I loved it. And so school, I just went to practices. And then provincials and for school came and got recruited by Alberta and I was like, oh, this is awesome. So I started playing with Alberta and I love it. So
So in junior high school, you you just played like 3, 4 weeks out of the year handball, like in your grade 8 year and your grade 9 year. Uh,
yeah.
at that point, what do you think of handball? Because at that point, you were just, I think, like you said, you were just a multi-sport athlete, and whatever sport the school had, you wanted to do. So, what
Yeah.
about handball at that time that interested you in playing it?
Well, it's interesting because handball in junior high is way different than what I'm playing now. I like the faster game, more physical game,
Yeah.
but um yeah, it's very different, but um I like um I like getting my hand on the ball was awesome.
Yeah.
And I played a different position in junior high, which is funny because I played like a wing. And
Oh,
yeah, I just feel like people, yeah, I like people didn't really understand the game.
yeah.
So we were just kind of trying to shoot. We didn't have a complete strategy, I'd say. But now it's I think I've improved a lot. I don't know. Yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, again, in junior high school, it's only a few weeks out of the year. Did you guys win
Mhm.
provincials at all, or what was your best results in junior high?
Yeah, we did. We did win. Um, I think we got second. It was a while ago, but um,
Like 4 years ago.
yeah, so long ago.
Yeah.
But I remember one game we played Haythorn, and I remember that season we kind of did a lot of like exhibition games, played them a lot, like, and in the final we were always winning against them, and we in provincials lost to them, and we got second, I believe. So,
Okay.
but yeah, that was interesting because we just played them so much, and we are like, oh my goodness. But
Yeah.
yeah, but it was fun.
So when was so what I know is I really started noticing you in sports when you got to high school. Did you get
Mhm.
recruited for Alberta in junior high school?
Yeah, I did. Kind of told me about it, gave me, I don't know, I just remember getting this little booklet, and I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And they just kind of told us about it, and I don't know, I was kind of I was really into basketball, volleyball, so I was like, oh, this sounds fun, but like basketball was kind of my main, I'd say.
Yeah.
But yeah, once high school hit, I was like, yeah, this is awesome.
So when you first got asked, was that the reason you didn't play? It was mostly because of like basketball, volleyball were your major sports, and you just knew you couldn't
Mhm.
be able to do it all.
Yeah, I can juggle it. Yeah.
Okay. So now grade 10. Uh, this is when I noticed you, and I've talked to you about this, but I went to
Hmm.
watch, I think it was Cassidy, or I can't remember who I went to watch play volleyball.
Hmm.
And then like I was watching the volleyball game and I noticed you, and the first thing I noticed is your spirit about the way you play and how you're so supportive of your teammates. And then it was Cassie, because then I texted her and I took a picture of you on the court. I'm like, who's this girl? And she's like, that's Jill. You guys recruited her last year, and so I was like, really? And so she plays handball. And she's like, yeah, yeah. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna try to recruit her again this year. Um, so then when you get to high school handball, obviously handball's a little different in high school. There's more leagues, more competitive games. Do you remember much of the grade 10 season?
um I think we got to provincials, which is awesome. And I think we didn't win. I don't think we won. We won like I think the bronze, something like that.
Yeah,
But
you lost. So what happened is you guys in the city finals, you
mhm,
guys were up by like 6 or 7
yeah,
versus SPA,
SPA, yeah.
and then you guys ended up losing. Um,
Hmm.
so, anyways, that season, that's the year that I really noticed you and the potential you had to in handball. And then I started
Hmm.
trying to get you to play, but everyone told me you'll never get Jill. She's a basketball player. She's a basketball player. So now eventually we got an offer to go to Japan. I was like, okay, well, I'm gonna throw it out to Jill.
Yeah.
And then you ended up coming. You said yes, and then you started training with
Mhm.
us. How was your first experience with Alberta, like going to Japan? What were your expectations and what you think of it all? And you can be honest if you hated it or
Yeah. I actually loved it so much. Like I was definitely nervous because I don't know, it's like a new realm for me. Like you said, I was like basketball, like so going, I was like, oh, like kind of scared. I was like nervous. I don't know like the girls very well, but that trip was a good like I met all the girls and we got pretty close, which is awesome. But sports wise, I was still I'd say developing. Like I wasn't I don't think I was as skilled yet. I was still learning how to like, like drive in and like,
yeah,
but it was so fun. Like Japan, like the players there, they're so fast. Their game is all about speed and so I remember being like tired. I was like, wow, like this is fast, but and I loved it. I was like, this is awesome. But one of the highlights I'd say for Japan was interacting with the team. Like it's interesting because none of us, like obviously we didn't speak the language, like Japanese people didn't speak English, so it was interesting like interacting with them
yeah.
because obviously we couldn't speak their language, but we'd be like thumbs up, and they'd be like, oh, like it was just so fun. And
Yeah.
I just loved it, and like meeting all the girls on the other teams, like it was awesome. So, but
Um, so I mean, from what I know is that you've been very successful in sports. Like again,
mhm,
in handball, in high school, and junior high, top 3, top 4 in the province. Basketball,
mhm,
you were very successful as an individual in basketball in your teams.
mhm.
Now Japan's a whole new world.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
lose, and you lose by 15, 20 goals, and you come from
Mhm,
handball where you were successful all the time. Top
mhm.
3, top 4. How was that experience like
That
losing?
it's funny. Yeah, losing by that much, I was like, what the heck's happening? Like, I don't like you said, I'm used to kind of being like pretty successful,
Yeah,
and um, yeah, I was kind of driven to like want to do like better. I think that after the Japan trip, I was like handballs like
yeah,
I want to get better at it. And if I'm gonna be traveling and doing like going to Japan and other like all my other trips, like I want to be like successful. And that Japan trip kind of like helped me to be like let's go, let's get better, you know.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, losing was tough. I was like, oh, what the heck? But yeah.
Did so now you come back and your basketball season starting. So uh, the conflicts with basketball and handball are not so easy, just with time commitments with your basketball teams.
Mhm.
Um, at this point, your goal was to do something with basketball.
Yeah.
What was your goals at that time with basketball?
With basketball, well, my basketball coach, he always had really strong goals like in the school season of all right, let's get to provincials, let's win like be the best in the city, kind of stuff like that.
Yeah,
My goals were like aligned with his, but also like to maybe move on and go to college or university playing
yeah,
basketball. Maybe. But yeah, my goals was again, I'm always wanting to like get better, whatever sport it is. Like I just like to work hard and do my best and so
yeah,
but yeah, I'd say moving on to like
yeah.
play like college, like a higher level would be maybe, but as of right now, I'm loving handball, and with all this COVID stuff, I'm like, who knows if I'm gonna
Yeah.
get into university this semester, next year, like. But the plan right now is just to keep going with handball. I love it. So.
At that point, you now after Japan, you took a break from handball, and then we kind of like talked, and I decided to coach Sal.
Mm-hmm.
And we had a pretty amazing season. I think the closest
Mm-hmm.
game was like 9-10 goals. We won
Yep.
provincial, and that's where I think your confidence really grew as a player in high school when you saw that you're a really good player. Your creativity came out. So then
Mm-hmm.
I had to push and push and push to get you to come and play. And youth national championships was the
Mm-hmm.
first event. So
Yeah.
youth nationals we won, and you got the MVP of the national championships. What do you think of that experience, like playing Quebec, winning nationals, and again, ultimately an individual accomplishment is winning the best player of the tournament?
Uh, that was like so fun. I remember, yeah, I remember getting more creative and definitely more confident with like my play. So I remember the Quebec game pretty well. That was an awesome game because I remember just feeling like even before the game, I was like I was so ready to just like win. And the Quebec girls, I know that I don't know, there's like a rival a bit because we just like lots of them are on the national team as well, and I think it was just awesome that we just won.
Yeah,
And I remember that game. I definitely was like, okay, let's like. I was more creative. I kind of understood what I needed to do, and I felt like I worked with my team pretty well, and it was really fun. And winning the MVP was like awesome because I was like, yeah, like I felt like good that I don't know. I felt like my skills, like my moves, fast breaks, obviously fast breaks, big
yeah.
part of our game, but yeah, yeah, it was good.
Then after that, we go to Sweden, Denmark, and we kind of surprise everybody. We have a great
Mm-hmm.
team.
Mm-hmm.
We end up going to Partille Cup, which is the world's biggest tournament. Get a fifth
Mm-hmm.
place finish,
Yeah.
and we end up through high school ending up playing a 4-2 defense,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a defense that I'm like, okay, well, Jill and Courtney are incredible at stealing the ball. Let's give this a go. So it worked in high school, and I'm like, okay, well, high school's one thing, but I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if it'll be work against Quebec. It works against Quebec, and I think we won by 30.
Yeah.
Then we head to Sweden, and we get a top 5 finish. And
Mm-hmm.
every game we play 4-2, and we play against really strong teams, but nobody knows how to beat it. And no
Mm-hmm.
one, and we just continue to steal the ball, and I continue to be like, I don't understand how we're continue to win with this defense. Um, the question I have is, and a lot of people ask this about you, like, what is it in your athletic background that you're so creative? Your your anticipation is so strong, where you know when to go for the ball, to go for steals. Is there a coach
Mm-hmm.
that you had or something that really worked with you on that?
Yeah, from a young age, I've had the same coach for as long as I can remember, and he has always been like pushing me to like go steal the ball. Like he's always pushed me to like be where I am today. I'd say
Yeah,
because I yeah, like if I don't go for it, he'd like be like you got to do it. So I've just been like kind of like thrown in and just I just have to go do it. So like with fast breaks and stuff, like stealing the ball, like that's a big part of what basketball was for us too. We pressured up like tough defense on them and try to force a pass to like get like intercepted or deflected to like open that opportunity for fast breaks and stuff. But yeah, I'd say my basketball coach, he's always like kind of pushed me in that way to be more aggressive and yeah, so but I love like I just love getting fast. Like I love feeling like stealing a ball and it just makes me feel good. Okay, that's good.
yeah.
So Like there's something about break, just like have my time to just make a shot, whether that's in basketball or handball. It
Yeah.
just makes me like feel good too. So
So, so you really think that part of your you and handball being able to steal the ball and everything, a lot of it translates from basketball?
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Well, the funny thing is, you and Courtney and the Sal team, when I got there, you guys played a 6-0 defense. And I'm like, boy, you guys, like in my head, I'm like, you guys suck on
Me
defense.
too.
And then as soon as we go to
Yeah.
4-2, and like I learned about you when I started coaching you, and too bad we didn't work with that to play in Japan. But I just learned
Hmm.
with you, it's you got to allow you to be creative and allow you to be free, as you're a very smart uh, athlete and a handball player, and you see the court very well. Um, do you remember a lot about Sweden, Denmark? Like, what did you enjoy that experience, being able to play outside and inside, really strong results? I mean, I think your team got closer, and it was just such a great group of players
Hmm.
and people. What do you think of that whole experience?
I loved it. It was so fun. Like playing outside, I remember being a little nervous. That's the thing about me. I get nervous before a game,
Yeah,
but I loved playing outside. It was so fun.
yeah,
Wearing cleats, that was cool. But yeah, it was interesting. Like the ball, like having the turf and playing with stickum. That was interesting because get like turf all around the ball. It's kind of hard to hold, but it was. I remember being so fun and it was awesome. Like yeah, our team was really I'd say really strong and close. So
yeah,
we worked well together, and again we were like successful and stuff. So um, yeah, it was awesome.
yeah,
I love like all of our trips. It's like awesome. Like
yeah.
mm,
Um, now you're starting to play handball a little more and more and getting more committed to it. Now you have an
mhm,
opportunity to go with the national team. So
mhm,
now you get to go to the IHF North American,
mhm,
where you are a very huge part of the team. I believe that you and the Alberta girls were the main reason for the success of that team. You can
mhm.
look at the score sheets, the defense. You guys were huge parts of it. What was the experience playing with the national team?
It was fun. It was at the beginning. I'd say the Quebec girls were kind of their little group, and then Alberta girls were kind of our group. But as it went on, I'd say we kind of like mixed a bit better, and I don't know, team unity was way better.
Yeah,
But it was fun. Like um, yeah, I'd say we kind of grew closer, and as we like played games, went to practices, like we like grew closer and stuff. So, and obviously the language was a bit of a barrier. There's some girls that didn't really speak French and stuff. I mean English, but yeah, it was awesome. Like it was fun.
do you remember the finals losing by one?
Yeah, that wasn't so fun, but
It's a good
um,
experience.
it's a good experience. Yeah, but
Yeah,
again, like you have to lose some to want to win more, you know. So it
yeah,
was definitely it was a really good game. Like we were close like the whole time. It's like one shot there, one shot, like you know.
yeah,
But yeah, that was a tough one. I'd say we really wanted to win that one, but
yeah.
okay,
What,
we'll do it.
like going there, and now you've really played handball uh, at a higher level, like provincial team,
Mhm,
committed to the sport now for about 6 to 8 months.
mhm.
The girls you're playing with have been fully committed since they were like 12 years old.
Mhm.
Do you see a lot of difference in the way they're like we play in Alberta and then they play in Quebec, or is it? Do you find that like it was easy to play with them, or did it take time with the different styles?
It definitely took time. I'd say our defense, the like me and Courtney, Maxie,
Yeah,
like we all like to be a little more aggressive and go for those steals and stuff because we've just learned with the 4-2.
yeah,
But I'd say the Quebec girls, they like to stay on the six, which is definitely not my strength. But um, yeah, they like to stay. They like to stay on the six and kind of like as the other team gets closer, kind of be more aggressive with that. But
Yeah.
I'd say we like to be more aggressive even before they get even close, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah.
um yeah, so um but yeah, it was definitely a little different at first because we also, again, speed. We like to be a little faster, I'd say, like fast breaks. I try and get the ball and just like push it up to Courtney or Maxie because they're both on the wings, right? But sometimes the Quebec girls, they like to just like take their time, not, set up the offense, which is
Yeah.
good. But I'd say whenever we get an opportunity to do a fast break, just go for it. But
Yeah.
yeah, that was the difference for sure. Speed and fast breaks and pressure, I'd say.
Yeah. So now you're heading into your grade 12 season. Uh,
Mhm.
I asked you to be able to come to Germany with us in November to train with our top players, our senior players. At
Mhm.
this time, I know that you have so much potential in handball, and now my goal as a coach was to like push you in the direction of handball. But I know that
Mhm.
basketball is your number one sport, and I know you're big into volleyball. So
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, try to come as much as you can, as long as you're playing sports. Um,
Mhm.
I think we came up with a good agreement. You came as much as you can.
Mhm.
Um, did you find it really stressful to be able, like, to play volleyball, to handball, basketball, the pressures of the coaches in all sports that make you commit to that sport? Is that pretty tough as a young athlete, a multi-sport athlete, and going into your last season of high school?
Yeah, like I'd say it got definitely stressful at times, like having to juggle like three different practices, like where they just overlap. Like there's a certain part of the year when practices overlap, which is tough sometimes. Again, I love just staying active and doing as much as I can, but um, yeah, it got a little tricky because each coach wants their players to be at their practices and continue growing in that specific sport, right? So we just have to try our best and try and get to the practice when we can, even just if it's a little bit, or like. But yeah, with basketball and handball. But yeah, I'd say I think we juggled it pretty well, and now the it sucked that the grade 12 season couldn't happen. I was so,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, basketball provincials got cut off as well, so
yeah,
which is too bad. But I think now I'm so happy to have it starting up again, which is awesome. But yeah, I think we juggled it pretty well, I'd say, but definitely got tough at times.
yeah. Did you find that, like, coaches, all of the coaches, like the coaches in all your sports, were they pretty good about it, or do you find that maybe it's something that coaches need to really be more aware of making sure that an athlete like you that plays so many sports, that has so many opportunities, to make sure that you're not stressed out and to give you a little more leeway? What do you think? Do you think the coaches were good, or do you think that we as coaches need to work on that part of like making sure that we allow an athlete like you to be more multi-sport?
I'd say my basketball coach is definitely like stricter on coming to like his practices and stuff.
Yeah,
Like especially like at that time when handball was starting, it was like playoffs and provincials coming. So he was not, I'd say, as lenient with going to handball,
yeah,
which is too bad because I like love handball, right?
yeah,
So um but I'd say like you were very lenient with us going to basketball practices, which
yeah,
is awesome because that definitely alleviated some stress for sure. Because we just want to be at like I want to be at both, right? So,
yeah,
but I'd say my basketball coach is definitely a little more like you have to be at basketball, and
yeah,
I guess that's fair considering it's playoffs and provincials, right? But
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think for I mean, when it all happened, I really think that I think the school needs to be more involved in those kind of decisions, because I think
Mhm.
the way it's happening is it puts the athlete making their decisions, which is hard for an athlete to do, because you as a grade 12er that want all their opportunities, you don't want to get mad at you don't want me to get mad at you as your coach, because I
Mhm.
might not going to make the handball team. Won't I play? You don't want your
Mhm.
basketball coach to get mad at you because you're getting ready for playoffs, you're getting ready for provincials.
Right.
It's I think the school needs to do a better job, not just your school, all the schools,
Yeah.
with making
Right.
sure that they juggle and make sure the athlete it's the best interest of the athlete and just not that sport. I
Mhm.
just know that that time it was pretty stressful on you and the 6, 7 other multi-sport athletes that we had on the team.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
so so now I believe you're an incredible handball player. Like I said before, your creativity is absolutely amazing. Um, you're now you're about a full year into being like a committed handball player, practicing 2, 3, 4 times a week. Um,
Mhm.
what are some of the things you think you really need to work on as a handball player?
Mm, I think I need to work on, honestly, I think because I love to like push the ball and like run and get as many fast breaks, I think being able to realize like when it doesn't work. Like sometimes I feel like I like to push it almost too much because I just love the fast breaks and stuff.
Yeah,
But I think just honestly like running the offense is good too. Like I just have to maybe a little more patience, honestly.
yeah,
But I think I need to work on my side shot a bit, like in the 9. Like I like to do like one-on-ones, I'd say, more than outside. But I think I need to work on those a bit.
yeah,
And um, yeah, I think those are two of the biggest, I'd say. And I think I work pretty well with the team. Like I like to move the ball and have good movement, which is good. I need to work on that a bit too, just like make sure I keep that movement and
yeah,
patience. Like sometimes I like to rush it. So just waiting for that right opportunity, working with
yeah.
the team a bit. So yeah.
So like just more understanding of the whole game, when to be more patient, when to be
Mhm.
faster, kind of understanding the game a little more.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have goals with handball?
Yeah, I wanna continue with handball, like going to practices, traveling, national team. I wanna do that. And yeah, that's the plan, is keep going to practice. I just want to keep getting better and working my way up to work like playing in higher levels and stuff too.
Have
Yeah.
you have you like has it ever been in your mind to like try to go to play overseas, or just something you're not interested in?
It's been in my mind. I do get a little nervous about it a bit, but um I don't know why. Like I think it'd be so fun. I'll have to see where my life's at, but
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome. Good experience, but
When you say nervous, is it nervous because not being successful, or nervous because doing something brand new in your life?
yeah, I think something brand new and being away from kind of like my home for that long.
Yeah.
But yeah, something brand new for sure. I think would be a little nervous at first, but I think it'd be awesome too. I just I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. It's just a question. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not an easy
Mhm.
decision. Just
Yeah.
it's just interesting to see what your goals are with the sport. What are
Yeah.
your goals with basketball? Do you still have goals with basketball?
Um, I still want to continue with it a bit. I'll have to see if I want to do like university ball. We'll have to see. With
Yeah,
all this, like I don't know. Like right now, I have a friend who's in the play. She says that they're not even gonna like play outside of Alberta, or So I'm like, oh, that kind of, I don't know. So, but honestly, I'm loving handball right now, and I think I
yeah,
want to continue with that. I'd say, but we'll have to see with basketball again this
So
semester or next.
yeah, so
So.
so now the more you're getting involved, you're becoming a part of the community, and you're getting to
Mhm.
know the older players, like the ones you're
Yeah.
playing beach with, kind
Yeah.
of everyone more. What do you think about the handball community in Alberta?
Um, I love it. It's so fun. I love playing with like everyone. Everyone's so nice, and um, I feel like it's easy to talk to. I can just like talk to them, and
Yeah.
it's like really nice. And yeah, I love it.
Do you like the guys you're playing beach with, like Lyndon and
Yeah,
Charlie?
it's so fun. I love
Yeah.
it. They've been really nice to me and Courtney playing on their team. Like we're the only girls. They've been really nice to just, I don't know, like they include us and we play. Me and Courtney play like all the time, so it's really fun to just, I don't know, they're really fun. I love it.
Yeah, someone asked the other day, they're like, why do they always have Courtney and Jill, and why is it like they take breaks? I'm like, I don't know. I think they like Jill and Courtney so much that they always want them on the court.
Yeah.
Because you guys are on the court the whole time, aren't you? Unless you
Yeah,
have free
we
stuff.
don't, yeah, we don't, yeah, we're on the whole time. It's so fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What
Yeah.
and how are you liking beach handball?
Oh, it's so fun. I love it. Like in the beginning, I I remember doing like 360s and I'd completely go the wrong way. But
Yeah,
like I'd spin the wrong way, so I just land in the sand and I'd be like, "Well, nice." But it's really fun and we're doing well too. Like we're I'm lost, so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's really fun. I love it.
And like the one thing about you that's incredible is that your creativity. You're not scared. And being a coach for women and younger girls, the one thing that I find is that younger athletes um, that are girls are scared to try new things because they're worried to not succeed.
Mhm.
Where do you get that confidence to be able to, like, like you said, oh, I just tried 360s even though I went the wrong way. You throw alley oops. You do a lot of things that a lot of people are nervous about. Was that built into like you by your parents? Just believe in yourself, just go try things, don't worry. Where did that come from?
Mhm. Well, um, first, like my parents have always been like so supportive and like we talk about it. We talk like before each game. We're always like, "Hey, like, what are your goals? Like, what do you want to do?" And I always like will be like I'll just say something kind of specific and be like, "Okay, like I want to try this alley oop. I want to try and do a 360 or I want to throw more fast breaks in handball or I want to shoot a three in basketball, like kind of
Yeah,
stuff like that." But yeah, they've always been really supportive and helping me, like motivating me.
yeah,
But I also love the feeling of like things working. So like I've thrown a few alley oops and the feeling of it like working and like getting like 2 points off of it, I'm like, that's like so fun. Like I just find it fun. And when it works, like sometimes it doesn't work and I'll just be like, oh well, like good try.
yeah,
Like I feel like I'm pretty chill, but I love seeing things work and even if it sometimes doesn't work, I'm like, that was close.
yeah,
Yeah. But like even like I've been trying practices like behind the back passes to like the pivot. I'm like it when it works, I'm like, okay, like sick. Like that's like really fun.
yeah.
But yeah, I just love that feeling of things working and like trying new things and stuff. So when it works, it's awesome. And if it doesn't, then find something new to try and try something new. So
But the funny thing is, like, you'll try all this creative stuff, but then if you miss a normal shot, you're down on yourself.
that's
So,
true.
like you
But
say, behind the back pass, it was fun, but you miss a normal shot and you're upset with yourself.
yeah, it's interesting because I I say like when I'm trying something new, I'm definitely more like chill about it. Like if I mess up, I'm like, well, that's a good try. But if it's like a simple like 6 meter shot, 7 meter shot, like 9 meter, I'm like, and I kind of expect myself. I have high expectations, and I expect myself to kind of make that shot. Like
Yeah,
I don't know, like I think it's normal to like get down on yourself a bit so that you can I don't know work your way up better.
yeah.
But yeah, when I miss, like yeah, I'll get down on myself and I'll be like, oh, like that's annoying. But like I just find it like, oh, I just really wanted to make that, but I guess that kind of motivates me to like make the next one and make two more, three. So yeah.
And what's your favorite thing about handball? Is it the defense, the scoring, the passing, getting fast breaks? Like, what's one thing you always want to do in a game?
I love scoring. I think it's so fun. Defense is so fun too, like getting a good steal and getting a fast break. That's one of my absolute like favorite things. But scoring for me, being creative, like working on those like one-on-one moves
Yeah,
and outside shots. Like I love scoring. It's so fun to me. So
nice.
sometimes I'd say I need to be more patient and wait to get the right shot. I'd say sometimes I get a little excited to shoot, so I just shoot sometimes at like, not the best times I'd say
Yeah,
but I love scoring and it's fun.
nice. So a few last questions.
Hmm.
I know that like you play the games and you kind of don't remember the games well. You kind of like if I asked you, do you remember the finals of high school provincials and who we played? Do you remember who we played?
Um. uh. SBA.
No, Lillian Osborne.
Wow. Okay. Go for
So I don't know
it.
how well this question is. Is there is there one basketball game and one handball game that you kind of will always remember as that game that that you've loved and you'll always talk about? Is there one of those games in basketball and handball that you have?
Yeah. So in basketball, there was one game in particular, provincials, grade 11. Um, and I just remember we played Raymond,
Yeah.
and it was our first provincial game. So we got to have a home game for our first provincial game. And I remember like the teachers were like, let's get everyone from the school to come watch. So everyone, like they canceled classes and everyone came to watch, and it was just packed. Like it was awesome
Yeah.
because I just remember the energy and the like cheering, and it felt like, I don't know, it was awesome because it was just the energy and the atmosphere was like super fun. And I just felt like I could just like go play and not like work. Again, I could get a little more creative with it.
Yeah.
And it was a good game too. Like I felt like I played pretty well. I remember I got fouled out in the last bit, like last minute. I remember that kind of, but I wanted to play till the end. But we did lose that game by like 1 or 2, I'd say. But it
Yeah, I
was
think it
just,
was two. Yeah.
yeah. Um, I just remember that game being like so fun. It was just the bleachers was packed. The up like sitting area up above was like just packed. Everyone was watching. So a little nerve wracking at the beginning. So I was like, ooh, that's kind of a lot of people, but it was just so fun. And it was a good game too. And then with handball, uh, it was that game in nationals, or yeah, on the national team playing Martinique.
Yeah.
That was that was a good game because I remember I just remember us being neck and neck, like each like they'd score a point, we'd score a point, they'd score two, like we'd score two, score another one, like it was just close and super intense. Like we did lose that one. The funny thing is that the ones I remember we did lose, but um, it was we worked, like I remember working really hard in that
Yeah.
Martinique game, and yeah, so
You're that's funny. You're the first person to answer that question. Both games, your favorite memories are games you lost.
yeah, that's interesting actually because
Yeah,
I'm like,
because everyone's like,
yeah,
it's winning national championships, or was the game we
mm-hmm,
won in Sweden that we weren't supposed to win in the quarterfinals, things like
mm-hmm,
that. So it's funny. That's good. That's a good attitude
yeah,
to have.
mm-hmm,
Um, Now the last question is now a lot of people write to me in North America and ask, how do you get players to pick handball over volleyball and basketball and all the
mm-hmm.
other sports? Um, what do you think is the best thing to tell players like you or athletes like you that play all sports and to give handball a chance? Because it's the same thing anywhere in North America as when you start in junior high school here. It's a 5-6 week season. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
the provincials has 50 teams. I mean, it's a big
Yeah.
event, but
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not compared to basketball or volleyball here. Um,
Yeah.
how do you how do you tell people to give it a shot or kind of say to have those you can do all your other sports as well? Like, what would you tell your sister who is a, a really good handball player, basketball player,
Mm-hmm.
volleyball player? Like, what do you tell her, and how do you tell her how to do all three sports and be able to continue to do all three sports and not to just pick
Mm-hmm.
one sport at a young age?
Mm-hmm. Well, for me, I find that like playing basketball and volleyball, um, kind of like basketball gave me that like it translates pretty well over to handball, I'd say,
Yeah,
because it's kind of like you're going for steals, you're dribbling, like passing, trying to get a shot off and stuff.
yeah,
So I felt like that translates pretty well over to
yeah,
handball, and so it kind of makes it almost like the game easier to come easier, I'd say.
yeah,
And handball again, I mean volleyball all about like that attitude and like building your players and stuff. So I feel like playing those sports has helped me like learn like kind of what a sport's all about. That's what, like scoring, working together as a team, building each other up. Kind of, I'd say like all of those kind of translate really well over to not only handball but like every sport. So, but I'd say yeah, being a multi-sport athlete, like playing lots, it's definitely sometimes a lot to juggle. But I've never I have no regrets. Like I love playing like all these sports because I feel like it's made me like a better player too. Like with handball. So, but I'd say like you said, my little sister, like she loves playing sports too. Like I'd say just like I like to try new things, and if you like to try new things, just like give it a shot, and
Yeah.
like it works well. Like I love it. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, like playing all these sports kind of helped like develop that attitude and like the skills and strategy. I'd say so.
Yeah, and I think you're the perfect example of an amazing athlete who's a top player in all the sports, one of
Mm-hmm.
the top athletes in Sal in all the sports. And if you, when you got there, if you just decided to focus on basketball or just volleyball or just handball, who knows where you would be, right? You giving
Mm-hmm.
handball a shot got you to play another sport, a sport that you fell in love with, national
Mm-hmm.
team, international competitions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, so I think you're the perfect example of why someone should not focus on just one sport at a young age and to give all sports a chance because like you said,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you could have went to play college basketball this year, but COVID made big things. But
Mm-hmm.
so maybe this year, if you didn't, if you decide not to give handball opportunities and work with handball's provincial team, you might not be
Mm-hmm.
doing sports this year.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, so I think you're the perfect example of you get tired and sometimes you don't want to go to practice, but at the end, I think it's all worth it.
For sure. Yeah.
Um, so I just want to end off with saying that like you were one of my hardest recruits. It took me a long time to get you to play handball, but I knew that you had such potential in handball, and I'm very, very happy to be able to coach you and to watch you grow as a player. You're very easy to coach. You have that creative mindset. Um, the one thing is just keep being you, keep that smile. People in handball adore you, and all the older players, they're like, "Yo, Jill's so cool," and we love Jill, and so it's pretty cool to see that the community has really like taken a fallen for you in handball and as a person. So it's awesome to see, and I just want to thank you for all your hard work. And now we're seeing you getting involved in coaching a little more, so that's awesome
Yeah.
to see. And I'm just excited to see where the future will take you with handball and national team and provincial team, and hopefully we can
Mm-hmm.
travel sometime in the next few
Yeah.
months. And thank you for doing this.
Yeah. No worries. Thank you.
Perfect. We'll see you at practice.
Yeah. See you at practice.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.